All right, Feisties, welcome. We have everyone back together. It's Kelly, Katie's first here with me, and Joanne Murphy finally made it home. Did you get stuck in LA, Los Angeles, during the massive rainstorm?
No, and I didn't get stuck on the runway in Kona either on the Tuesday or the Monday. Yeah, they were stuck on the runway with one of the flights for like 5 hours or something. It was crazy. So no, my flight was delayed by maybe an hour. So I flew on the Tuesday lunchtime. So no, I actually had a very smooth journey into LA. Lovely Irish weather to welcome me into the airport. Had a night in LA and a day in LA on Venice Beach, and then came home.
I was laughing about all of you because so many people have to go through either LA or San Francisco, and all of you who were like, "Oh, I'll just have like a 24 or 48-hour layover and see the city," and it was like dumping rain
No.
those couple days. So I was like, you missed the end of it, but yeah, like Laura Phillip and like Heather from Global Triathlon, like you all did this, and I was like, "Oh, you got really bad."
Yeah,
it was like
some people just went and had In-N-Out burgers.
Ooh, well, that's not so bad.
What I was saying. Now, I did spot an In-N-Out burger by the airport, but I never made it to it. But yeah, no, thankfully I didn't. But I can tell you, this is the worst jet lag I've had coming back from the States. And I don't know whether it was that it was such an exciting week and that I was front and center for so much of it, or whether it was just me getting old. I don't know, but I have really struggled. Now, I know I had a crazy build up to Kona. I did only have like a couple of weekends off, and I have been traveling. When I looked back at my diary today, I was like, I've actually been traveling since the 9th of August, as in working away from home for like 2 weeks,
Right.
home for 10 days, away for 3 weeks, home for 10 days. And when I've been home, it hasn't been like holiday or downtime. It's been really, really busy because we have been in World Championship season and it's end of season accounts. It's like paperwork. It's just coming to the end. So I literally have been, I've been a lazy bum since last Thursday. Since like
last week. Oh, definitely.
And I mean,
it's off season.
It's not off season yet.
Almost.
Not yet.
Yeah. No, but like even trying to put things on social, I'm like, no, not able. I finally went through my Kona photographs today to try and put up a few things, and I was like, the photos are great, but my brain's not working. I'm going to the gym. That was about the height of my activity today. Now, I did manage to get off the couch and I've stopped watching Netflix, which is a bonus.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll tell you, this is why I, for maybe 48 hours, thought about flying from Kona to Wollongong and going straight to the World Tri-World Championships.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, that is an insane plan.
But you know, though, what I think is the plan would have worked. So I look at Paul Day and Dane, the DJ. They flew from Kona late on Monday night, flew to Portugal to Cascais, so flew into Lisbon, worked a mammoth Ironman and Ironman 70.3, 5,000 athletes. And now they've gone home to South Africa. Like, I don't know how they did that. They had done Barcelona the week before, came to World Champs, went to Portugal. But I actually think, like, when I think back to last year, I went straight from Kona into 3 days or 2 days of gymnastics, and I was fine until I stopped.
Right.
So I think, like, if you know you're going to keep quiet, Katie, you're nodding out the agreement there now. I think you would agree.
I think you can do it. And then like afterwards you regret it. And I think you'd get home and you'd be like, oh dear Lord. But you would make it through Wollongong.
Yeah, I think if I had told my husband I was going to be gone for a whole nother week to go to Australia, he would have killed me. But
yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm more tired only because Tommy was in Wollongong. I was with Kimball and Josie.
Yeah, so it's mad. So I don't know what it is, but I definitely was falling asleep in the middle of the day. I was just a mess. So finally, I think I got a full night's sleep Sunday night, Monday night, and today my phone died overnight. I didn't have to be up early today for whatever reason, and I didn't plug in my phone, and my phone died, so the alarm never went off. So I slept from, I think it was 11 p.m. last night to 9 a.m. this morning. I haven't done it for a long time. I don't know. I still was lazy today, sleep. But hey, it's all part of the job. It's part of it.
Yeah, see, it's like it's just like athletes. 100%. You're just like the pro athletes. You need your time off now.
Ready to go now.
They're all on vacation right now. But I did really think about Australia because I was like, well, this is going to be a really exciting week in Wollongong, and I really wanted to see it. And now part of me is like, man,
I was like, it didn't disappoint.
So we were going to talk all about it. even though when this comes out, it will have happened almost a week ago. But the elite, okay, Katie, I sent somebody a clip of Belinda Granger going crazy during the elite race, being like, what is happening? This is crazy. And the person I sent it to is like, wait, I don't understand why this is crazy. So somebody who is very good and had won one of these races before and was ranked 4th won. Why is that crazy? And I was like, well, you have to understand
the numbers,
the context.
Yeah. No, it was funny because I only watched it like fully yesterday. But for all of Wollongong, because of the time it was here, like it was whenever Josie was awake at night and I was nursing her that I was following on live timing. And like for multiple of the races, I'm like following on live timing. And I'm like, what is going on? And like for the women's race, we do spoiler alerts here, right?
Sure.
Like,
I mean, it's like a week ago.
It's been a week. Like we're beyond that. But like I was like looking at, I think it must have been on the run, but when I woke up and I'm like, wait, like where's Cass? Like where's Beth? And then I'm like, well, I guess they just didn't make it out of the swim, like because of them normally being, as long as they're there on the run, they're usually
sure
finishing in the top. And then I was like, no, they were in the breakaway. Like, it was only like a 7-person breakaway. Like, so to me, I described it as the Wollongong Kona.
The Wollongong Kona. I mean, it's true though, right? Because you had like the two kind of favorites going in, both have things go wrong, right? Like both sort of just completely fall. I mean, Cassandra even ended up DNFing, and Beth ended up 15th, which is just like not super normal for them. I don't even know exactly what happened.
Well, I know like Beth posted later about a foot injury that she was dealing with after Way High and like not feeling like herself. And I think for like Cassandra, like it just, well, she said she ate too much. But, like, so I think she was dealing with cramping. But I think primarily it was just like not having it on the day that you needed to have it. And for her, she didn't have enough. Well, either way, like the grand final's worth more points than any of the other races. And you have like 3 plus the grand final. So with her not having her full number of races plus DNFing the grand final, like she fell to 7th, which is kind of a bit insane, but not insane, but just like unpredicted.
Unheard of. Yeah.
Unpredicted. But it was a really interesting race. And I think part of that was they changed the swim course so that it was an M because of the wind, which gives you like, it's a 2-lap M swim course, which I've never done in my career or never even seen
it. Katie, you could turn it around.
Well, oh boy. I guess depends on which letter you like more. Oh, right. But there were so many more buoys, and I think it broke that up. Like, having so many more turns, it like broke it apart more. But also, like the swim was kind of weird. Everyone was kind of like all different directions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
You were laughing. So, Joanne, last week, Katie was basically talking up how it's like the beach starts and the getting out. It's crazy. It makes things crazy. And then she sent me this clip of everybody practicing and like what looked to me like very calm.
It was like a lake.
It was like a lake.
I sent it. Yeah, I sent it to Kelly being like, oh no. But the actual race, I was like, oh, I properly prepared everybody based off of the actual race conditions. But Tommy, when I asked him about it, he said that was literally the only day it looked like that, with like a lot of chop and waves. And I don't know if anyone saw the video of Matt Hauser like running into the water, dominating like the men's start. It was very Australian of him.
Very Australian. Yeah, it's interesting because like we talked about last week too, it was a slightly smaller field for a grand final. And then, yeah, to your point, like I was like, oh, the breakaway came together, and I was just like, oh, well, guess Beth and Cassandra have this. Do you think, okay, so like Emma Lombardi was really pushing it, right? And part of me was like, is she accidentally screwing a teammate? Like, is she accidentally drop? But then I don't know if they actually used team tactics at that point.
I think there were no French team tactics in that, just based off how they were racing. Like it seemed like they were all racing very much for themselves, which like, unless the country, your country tells you to race any different way. That's how most people are going to race, and how like you race for yourself unless told otherwise. The only one that I don't know about that I was wondering if Jess Boligar was working for Beth. Only just because when Emma Lombardi attacked, like Jess didn't go with her, and she's one of the strongest.
But then she kind of like dragged everybody up. And yeah, so that's an interesting question. See?
Yeah, so I don't know the answer to that, but I definitely don't think the French were using team tactics. But it was an interesting one to see though, and just because I felt like you would have looked at that and been like, that's all the like runner, like not all the runners, because obviously Leonie came like from pretty far back, minute deficit onto the podium, or not onto the podium, but like
fourth, she like ran her way
she
up.
Finished fourth, didn't she?
Yeah.
But it was an interesting group because it was, I mean, Jess Boligar was doing a lot of work, Emma Lombardi was doing a lot of work, but no one else was doing too much work in that pack, but they were still maintaining their minute. And like Spivey, actually, she was so close. Like, did you see her on the the coverage? She was quite close to making it onto she was in no man's land for
you get stuck in no man's
a bit of time. But then she had the third fastest run. So it goes like, and she would, again, just like in Karlovy Vary.
So here's my question. Did you predict Lisa Tersch winning the world title?
No. Did you?
No. But then when I was like telling this to Sarah, and she was like, why is this crazy? Lisa like has won a WTC. That's already the season. I was like, well, that's fair. Like, that's a fair point. Yeah.
It is fair, but I wouldn't call her as dominant as like you see like Cassandra. And maybe I wouldn't call Beth dominant like this year. She's been more up and down. And I think she might have been more surprising. But you have never seen if Cass have a bad run. Like if she's there, she runs really well. She's had she's had races where she hasn't performed as well, but it never is her run. So yeah, I feel like Lisa, to like Emma Lombardi's point in her post-race interview, she just doesn't do much of the work. So people don't see her until the finish, right? Like she's quite hidden. She's very tactically savvy and plays a strategy in the race.
And it looks like I didn't see much of the coverage now. I literally just saw the snapshots on the socials. I didn't get to watch the race, but it looked like Lisa Tersch actually had a good lead in the end coming down the finish line. She was able to celebrate on the blue carpet with plenty of daylight between her and the girls behind her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, she ran away with it pretty like
in the end,
pretty much off the bat.
And for Lisa,
not off the bat.
Not off the bat.
But when you look at her performance then and you look at her races throughout the year, was that a better performance that she had in terms of how she raced across swim, bike and run versus one of the other races that she would have had during the year?
I think it was a smaller group for her to be in from the very beginning. To me it felt like that. But yeah, I guess like to your point, it's not so surprising. Maybe it's just because she hasn't had, like she won she won Abu Dhabi,
which apparently was worth less points, by the way,
because they hadn't equalized it out for sprint races. It started after that.
Yes, correct. Yes. But yeah, so she won Abu Dhabi, and she's been up there the whole time, and she was ranked 4th going into this. So some of our surprise is a little bit ridiculous.
Bias?
Is
it bias?
but okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Beth and Cassandra who basically were the two favorites going into that race. But like all they had to do was to win the whole thing. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much. The reason,
and because they were tied too,
and because they were tied too, and so I think like everybody makes these like crazy diagrams going into these races to be like, in order for this person to win, like these people have to do badly, and this person has to place above this person, and then this person has, and the diagram for Lisa to win was quite complicated, and so that's why I think everybody's like, no, we all just sort of wrote it off. It was like the diagram for anyone who wasn't Beth or Cassandra to win involved more arrows and like more possibilities. So
basically what you're saying is that every other thing had to happen for Lisa to like the map that was created, the diagram. There was too many things to go on to the others. Okay.
Right. So like Jeanne was also not in the breakaway group, so she also didn't, right? So there's all sorts of things that had to happen, right? Katie's thinking about that.
Well, no, because I was listening to the interviews of the athletes afterwards. They're all like, to your point, you've asked us before in the podcast, like, do you pay attention to any of these like numbers or like, and I think you do, but when they were asking like Emma Lombardi and Lisa about Cass and Beth and like where they were both like, I mean, we're aware of it, but like we're running our own race. Like we're doing the best we can. So like, and I think that's like really what it comes down to is like everyone on the outside is really paying attention far more to like, this means this and this means this. And then I feel like most athletes kind of like have an awareness of it, but then you finish and you're like, okay, well, where am like, where did I end up in the series? But this one, I felt like there was like a lot more movement in it. And it was a lot, you just had like different faces kind of have breakthrough races for, and thinking particularly of like Jess Volagar, Tilly Enema, she like it was her very first World Triathlon Championship series and she was 11th and like led out of the swim in like a very strong fashion. So
I was gonna say, who else, Katie, was your breakout names we should be paying attention to out of this race?
I think honestly those two, and like Jess, I feel like I think a bit I'm just like more aware of her coming out of like the Leeds program and having like a little bit of more connection with that. Where Tilly, I feel like I've just started seeing her name. And then for her to like, I mean, 11th is quite good, like at a World Triathlon Championship Series. We also had Danielle Ori. This was her second World Triathlon Championship and she finished 18th for the US. So that was pretty cool. So I think, I feel like when you look at the up and comers, I think there were a lot in this crew, but then I also am like looking at the junior and U23 races as well, and even the mixed relays, as you see like the countries and like where they're at, because that shows how robust they are with 4 athletes in one race.
Katie, is it difficult coming out of the Olympic years? So like last year was the 2024 was the Paris Olympics. So it's like the athletes haven't had a break. Like you look at some of those names that you've mentioned, you know,
Cassandra,
Beth, Lisa, Emma Lombardi, Spivey, you know, so like they're at the end of another full-on season of racing post-Olympics. But obviously they're probably looking at LA now as well. And we have these younger athletes coming through, these under 23s, these younger athletes that you're mentioning there as well. Like, so how do you post-Olympic year focus on this year while still trying to have one eye on LA and also trying to like have a break for everyone? Because I feel like they just didn't get a break this year.
Well, and I think like the older athletes are just used to working in quads. And so like, I mean, not all of them, but a few of the ones on those, like on the start list, they've taken time to like do other things or just probably have a different not commitment level to it, but like focus level. Like they know they have to kind of manage their energy throughout until we get to like LA and really like honestly starting next year. So if there's any time to back off, it's this one. But that being said, like no one really like takes it easy. I just think you have this fatigue going into a post-Olympic year that eventually kind of like dwindles away and you feel like more refreshed. Well, because it's like, I don't know. I think it's just hard because the motivation is like, you're not really motivated for like qualifying for the Olympics yet. Again, this year doesn't count for your Olympic points ranking.
Right.
So when that starts, you really have to be like really engaged with your races that you're doing and the results
then you figure out all the points things
or have someone do it for you. I was someone who never like. The thing is, if you're like performing really well, you don't have to worry about the points. It's like you're in that middle ground. Like that was for myself. That was when I was coming back after Kimball and trying to qualify for Paris. It was like, what do I have to? Someone just tell me what to do. Like.
But there was a bunch. I mean, the other thing, obviously, in Wollongong was like there were U23 races, there were juniors races, there was mixed relay, there was para athletes. When you were watching, because I know obviously development's a big topic in your household, when you were watching the U23s and juniors, I mean, who is standing out to us there? Who are we keeping our eye on?
Well, Naomi Ruff was a little bit of a heartbreak in the U23 for the USA because not the pressure is not on her for that, but just I felt for her because that was another one I was watching live timing on, and I saw like lap 4 of the run, which means they're almost done, right? And then I saw the finish and her name wasn't there, and she had been running with the leaders. And it turns out that she collapsed like 10 meters from the finish and didn't end up finishing. And so she is my one to watch, while it doesn't show on the results of like how well she was doing up until that point. But she did go, she's okay. She went on to race like the mixed team relay the next day. So I think for US athletes, like I feel like we're still like dialing it in. So it's exciting to see. I mean, Danielle Ori is someone who I think is one to watch, even though she was in the elites, but she's just collegiate or CRP. So she's new to racing
collegiate
track.
Recruitment. You mean collegiate recruitment program?
Oh yeah, sorry, collegiate recruitment.
All
program.
your acronyms. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that's for the US, I think.
The U23 race is pretty exciting though, because it came out a sprint and Rochelle Hill won kind of from behind. I mean, not behind, but you know what I mean? Like she had a sprint. She was not in first and she had a sprint past a bunch of people.
But then she like sprinted dominantly.
Yes.
Like, so you would think that she'd, but that would, I think like looking at just Australia in general and the results, like they're in the home field energy coming in, I think, because there was a lot of Australians on those podiums.
Yeah, but then they didn't have to travel halfway around the world to get to the race.
True.
That's a valid point. But also the fans of the Australians fans.
Well, the home support it's like in France. Like you look at what Cassandra did in France last year. That home support is incredible. You look back to London 2012 and what the guys and girls did there in the sport. Incredible again with that home base support. Yeah. So it is like the 10th man on the field.
Yeah, Australia does get really into it because obviously Matt Hauser won on the men's side and they were going crazy for that. And then Rochelle Hill won the U23. They're going crazy for that. There was in the para, Lauren Parker won the wheelchair race, and Anu Hill. Did I say that right?
Anu Francis.
Thank you. Why did I say that wrong? Won the PTS2, and I think they were going pretty crazy for them too.
They were also the mixed team relay second, Australia.
So there's a lot. The para mixed team relay is interesting. I know, like. They have been testing it for the last, like they want it to be in LA, right? And they want to make its Paralympic debut. And the way it works is like there's sort of like a cap on points, and you can have any mix of impairments and categories, except there are certain parameters. Like you have to have, I think, a wheelchair athlete. You have to have a V, and then you can have like a mix if it's under this like category amount of points. So it's like kind of so you can have like athletes going at different abilities at different times, and it's sort of it's really nutty. There's like parameters on it. Yeah. It's like, there's a lot of rules, but I'm like summing up how it works.
It's a more complicated version of like in track when they have the 4x4 and you can pick the different, like however you go, right? Or.
Yeah, they do a para 4x4 mixed relay too. That's like this, where you have to have certain categories, but then you can like mix and match. And it's also interesting. So they've been testing this out for the last couple of years to try and like figure out all those little rules and parameters. And so I think now it seems like this was the second time they've done it at the World Championships, and the US won, which was very exciting. With Grace Norman and Chris Hammer, I think. And Grace Norman won also her 6th world title.
I was trying to think how many she'd won. That's
Yeah. I mean, the last time I talked to her, she hadn't lost a race in like.
I was gonna say, in Grace Norman fashion, she's kind of dominating.
Yeah, she like hasn't lost. She's like hasn't lost a race since like 2021 or 2022, something.
And the other athlete that was really impressive was Susana Rodriguez, who raced with Sarah Perez Pala. Isn't that her? Is Sarah Perez? Sala, yes, sorry, Sala. Yes. Yeah. And she came off the bike. Coming out of transition, the bike, she came off the bike and then they got back on the bike and then they won the race. And then Sarah went on to race the T100. I think, did she do the mixed team relay as well? Like incredible. And she finished on the podium in the T100.
Sarah did, yeah, she was third. And that was crazy because she guided for Susanna in the morning, and then she raced the T100 in the afternoon, which is nuts. And Susanna won her 7th world title, which is also nuts. And did you know there's they made a Barbie for Susanna a few years ago? Like Barbie
No
made
way.
Oh,
That's very cool.
like an honorary Barbie. But yeah, Sarah Perez Sala was third in the T100, which was also in this week of Wollongong happening.
Tommy was working it, and he's properly smashed now, coming home from doing all the covering all the races.
Was he photographying or?
Yep.
So you handed in the 2 children and said, "I'm off, dear."
Pretty much. He was trying to take a nap yesterday, and I was just like not having it, playing with Josie right in front of him, but asking him questions. Anyways, just to say, there was a lot of racing.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. So the T100. I mean, I do feel obviously like this T100. I think this isn't like a controversial statement. It was a little smushed in between things, and so it did have like a lighter field. Like a lot of the contracted athletes didn't do it, so it was like. I mean, the joke was it was nice at the T100 to have a race entirely for wildcards, but that was the joke.
How many actual contracted athletes were there? Because
3 or 4 or 5.
I was going to say
check
3,
something like that. But I mean, it's like nice. Obviously, it's nice for other people to get a chance. Obviously, Ash Gentle is a contracted athlete. She was second. Kate Woff was like a hot shot athlete. I don't like difference, but but she's of course now leading the series. And then Sarah Perez was in third. So I don't know. Just Sarah having a big weekend. It's pretty cool. Weekend, yeah.
She took advantage of all those races.
But ultimately she did really well as well. Like when you think about it, I mean, she's racing in the morning, the afternoon, and then the mixed team relay as well. Like it's not easy.
Well, no, because you add on probably all the things they have to do outside of actual racing too. Like she's going to all the course previews, she's going to all the meetings for like everything. And
it's not like it's just for her. She has the responsibility of guiding for Susanna as well. I mean, that brings its toll in terms of mental and physical and emotional fatigue away from the physical fatigue that you would have from racing. And the excitement and the adrenaline and everything that goes with it. So yeah, hats off to Sarah Perez Sala.
Yeah.
It was very impressive.
I also have to give there were some people being mean about her in the comments. And the T100 was like, stop it. Or whoever manages T100 social account told people to stop it and shut that shit down.
Yeah, they were really mean about her tri-suit or her swimsuit.
Yeah, which is just like stupid. I don't even know. It's just dumb.
It was just keyboard warriors, I think, being really mean.
That is shocking.
Yeah. Not in this day and age now, kids. Behave yourselves.
Hate indoor training? We have great news. We have partnered with Wahoo to offer you a special deal on the Wahoo Kicker Run, a treadmill that will convert even the most diehard treadmill haters. Wahoo, the same company that revolutionized indoor cycling training, has literally broken the treadmill mold with this machine. With its special run-free mode, you can just hop on it and run. It naturally adjusts the pace as you do, just like you would outdoors. Speed up, slow down, it moves with you as you do. It can also simulate the terrain by subtly tilting the angle from side to side, so again you feel like you're really running, not locked into an unnatural pace or place. Or you can lock it in or even program workouts, so it does put you through your training paces, including both inclines and declines. And it's stunningly quiet, even when you're humming along full tilt. Even if you love training outdoors, the Kicker Run is a game changer for year-round training. No more trying to navigate ice-covered roads, awful weather, or worrying about going out in the dark. We love it, and we think you will too, so check it out. Click the link in the show notes and use the code FEISTY, all caps, one word, FEISTY, to get a free Headwind Smart Fan valued at $300 with the purchase of a Wahoo Kicker Run. That's code FEISTY to get a free fan when you purchase a Wahoo Kicker Run. We will drop a link in the show notes to make it a snap.
Hey Feisties, Sarah Gross here. We are so excited to be back with you here on our new, shiny, Feisty Triathlon podcast. Thank you for listening. I am so glad you're here. I want to tell you about one of the Feisty team's favorite recovery products, Prevenex's Neurify Plus. I use the chocolate flavor myself every day to support my strength training. At Feisty, we only support brands that our team uses and products that deliver results we have seen for ourselves. Previnex's Neurify Plus is one of the best tasting plant-based and vegan shakes I've tried, and trust me, I've tried a lot. It contains balanced protein, carbs, and fat with comprehensive, high-quality micronutrients to help fuel your health. It also contains probiotics and digestive enzymes, so it's super easy to digest and doesn't give you that bloaty, gassy kind of effect that other protein products can produce. Unlike most supplement brands, Previnex tests everything with pharmaceutical-grade precision, and they also offer a 100% money-back guarantee. So try Neurify Plus or any Previnex product today, and you get 15% off your first order with the code FEISTYTRY at Previnex.com. That's FEISTYTRY for 15% off at Previnex.com. The link will be, as always, in the show notes.
If you've listened to this show for more than, a minute, you know that I am a huge proponent of strength training, especially lifting heavy for strength, power, and resilience as we go through midlife and menopause, when age and our hormones make all of that harder to hang on to. So I am super stoked that I am getting to be part of Feisty 40 Plus's Strong Retreat this November 14th through the 16th in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This retreat is designed specifically for women 40 and over, and it's 100% devoted to building a strong foundation that will support you for the rest of your life. Led by Feisty favorite strength coach Cassie Neiman and me, Celine, the retreat will give you all the fundamentals you need with hands-on coaching and small group feedback. You'll get tutorials on mobility and movement prep, learn how to do all the big lifts, and be privy to a special pelvic floor session, and actually just have a really great time bonding and learning with like-minded women. No egos, no competition, no body judgment, just solid strength training, real confidence, and a community of feisty women who lift heavy shit and lift each other up while they do it. Whether you're new to strength training or you're looking to fine-tune your form, investing in a weekend like this can really fast-track your progress, boost your confidence, and help you train smarter for years to come. Click that link in the show notes, come join me, and get strong this fall.
There was also like all these other meetings happening in Wollongong. Like all these, and so if you were following the headlines, there was like a lot of news. Like they announced Hamburg was going to host the championship in 2 years because it's in Ponte Vedra next year and it's in New Zealand the year after. They announced like the whole schedule. London will have a WTCS, which is it's at the same weekend as the T100, but T100 won't have a pro race. So it's just going to be like the London T100 amateur race and the WTCS.
And didn't they announce?
Well, and going back to Hamburg too, there's a pair series. So that'll be exciting too.
They announced like a whole calendar. You can go look the whole
And didn't T100 announce that they're going to have the men and women race on different events?
Oh, they announced oops, contracts were a bad idea. No, that's not how they announced it. But they did say they made a huge, massive change, as they do every year, to their system. And they are getting rid of contracts for reasons that might be obvious. And then they are also reducing the number of total races athletes have to do. And in order to do that, in order to reduce the number of total races, but still have a full calendar per they're basically having four of the races will be women and 4 of the races will be men's pro races. So they're like, do you see what I mean? Like, so they still have like a TV product for 8 races, but athletes only have to do 4. And then they'll come together for the grand final.
Which honestly, I really like.
I know. The keyboard warriors have opinions, but I think it actually it's like makes the most sense.
Will they? Yeah. So you know the way they had contacted athletes and then they have wild cards and they have, what was the other one you had? The wild card and the
hot shots.
So there's a certain amount of athletes can race each T100. So now that they're separating the men and women, are they going to allow more of the pro athletes race the individual races?
No, it's still going to be 20 athletes per race. And now that we're not doing it with contracts, since no one was fulfilling their contracts anyway, they're going to rankings based. So like for the first race, it'll be based, and I can't remember off the top of my head which rate. Like there's contender rankings and PTO rankings, and like I don't remember which one. But for the first one, it'll basically be the top athletes from this year, and then we'll get invited. And then after that, it'll be like you can work your way into the rankings, and then you'll get it in. So basically, just go down the rankings and invite people. And then they're like leaving. they're leaving room for themselves also to still invite wild cards.
Yeah, because like, so say you invite the top 20, that doesn't give an opportunity for those up and coming athletes who might have raised.
No, that's where the contender rankings come in. Like there's a whole there's different rankings. This is what I'm saying. I'm not. My
brain's not computing.
Well, I think they're trying to figure it out too, but it's kind of nice that they're not just like, oh, we're just going to stick with it after seeing that there could have been a better way to do it, because it's too much on the calendar.
Yeah, it's too much on the calendar. I think honestly, I don't think it's out of the goodness of their heart. I think this is because like nobody was filling contracts and they were like, well, we're paying contracts and no one's doing it, which was a problem for them financially and media wise. Like they kept promoting people and then people weren't coming. So I think they want to have like a better way to like know who's actually coming. They are increasing the amount of prize money per race, but the overall prize pool is basically halving. Because like just if you add it up, which obviously was not one of the things they said in their press release, but if you add it up, and obviously they don't have contracts anymore either, and people are getting paid like 80 to 100 per contract. So the overall amount of money is definitely. So there was also some financial concerns. I think.
I guess watch the space and see what happens, and hopefully it all works out.
Which you still see it pay all the way down through 20th, I think, to like 3,500, right?
Yeah,
which is like, maybe not like we hope for more, but still like
it's good.
Top for our sport.
Yeah, no, people still make money. The other really funny out of all the headlines that came out of Wollongong, though, the one that I didn't see till like yesterday, it got super buried, was apparently World Triathlon approved 2 new disciplines to add to like World Triathlon: high rocks and swimrun.
I was like, why is high rocks in triathlon?
What is high rocks?
It's like CrossFit. It's completely different.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to do high rocks for Christmas?
Fitness. I am going to do high rocks. Actually, we've discussed this, but it is the sport of fitness, Katie.
Okay. It's basically like you run a kilometer in between doing all these different types of set gym activities. So it could be like burpees or wall balls or all these different things. But I think it's a kilometer you have to run in between each session. And there's like singles and doubles options. It is like one of the fastest growing sports, I think, in the world at the moment. Or it's kind of like a move on from CrossFit, where there was certain exercises or things you could do in CrossFit that weren't accessible to everybody. So if you had certain weaknesses, you couldn't do them. Whereas high rocks, what they've selected, like sled pulls or pushes or whatever they are, it's accessible to more people, or more people can do it.
It's really, Katie, it's really, really, really big in Europe and Australia. And it's like only just making it over to the US.
Oh, okay.
That's why you're like, what?
Yeah.
It's the pickleball explosion.
So it's like,
I know what it is. What it is soon.
Yeah. So.
But they now they have like a world championship and stuff, and it's getting World Tri has declared that it's overseeing it's overseeing fitness, multi-sport fitness, because they can't call it high rocks because high rocks is copyrighted, but multi-sport fitness.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was really funny.
I actually would love to give high rocks a go. It's on my list. It's on my list.
The feisty team of all of us have been like eyeing different high rocks competitions, so you should get.
But it's impossible to get tickets here because they sell out like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like any event, sold out like mad. So a lot of even some of the Tri Club gang here in Galway have gone abroad to do the high rocks and do it in doubles, so it's more fun.
Yeah, goodness, serious.
Yeah,
but you'd be so fit and strong. I'll be ready to smooth cycle and run then.
Carrie, who edits this, is probably listening right now, is training for her first one in Austin or in Dallas, whatever, in Texas, in like a month. So high rocks.
We need to get her on the podcast to tell us about high rocks properly.
Before we talk about the 23 Worlds, the other thing, I know a lot of our listeners, because I've been getting a ton of emails coming out of Kona. We had another Ironman here it was Ironman California. And then, so again, we had like the Kona qualification for next year. And people are like a lot of women are very upset because there was only one performance pool spot that went to women, and all the other 19, I believe, went to men. And the majority of them went to men 50 to 59. So it was like 9 spots to men 50 to 59 and 1 to all of women. So anyway, partially, I'm hearing a lot about this because I live here. Partially, I think coming out of Kona, people are worked up about it. Partially, we're now at like a dozen races. And so I think we're seeing this happen over and over and over again. So this is my note to everyone who has emailed us and asked, like, you got to tell Ironman your feelings. Okay. Like, I know you have feelings. Don't tell me. Tell Ironman, give them feedback. Cause I know they actually are watching how this plays out. They do want feedback. They do know that it's not going the way they intended it to go. So reach out to them. That's my PSA is reach out to Ironman. So, all right. 70.3 Worlds, though, is in 2 weeks, Joanne.
The 8th and 9th of November. But before we go to 70.3 Worlds, can I just give a big shout out to Lizzie Rayner from the UK, who won Ironman 70.3 Cascais at the weekend, back-to-back wins. So she is thrilled and delighted for her, based in the UK. So yeah, it was a big win for her to take that race. And I think Kate Curran was second, coming back from, I think it was a bike crash she had earlier in the season. So great to see two of the British athletes on the podium in Cascais.
Kate Curran is American, I believe, isn't she?
Is she? Oh, maybe I thought Kate Curran was from the UK. I could be wrong.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. She is British. I think she is trained.
Oh, maybe I thought I was manifesting there for a minute.
Anyway,
yeah. So anyway,
I don't know. It's
so before we look at Marbella, I just wanted to give a shout out there because that race looked like it was sizzling as well, and it was
in
great.
Portugal.
Yeah, it looked like a great race. Yeah.
Also, like a beautiful.
Oh,
spot.
it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I was there in 2021, just coming out of COVID. It was one of the first races back that I did, and they go through the Estoril, the Formula One racetrack. So like the swim is in the Atlantic, so the water was like 17.5 degrees, a little bit cooler than Kona. And it's a hilly bike course and a bit of a hilly run, but it is absolutely fabulous. Like you get out of the water and you run uphill to transition, like uphill, literally uphill. But it is a brilliant race. I think they had 5,000 athletes over two races, 70.3.
Did you... That made me think, did you see Amsterdam Marathon was this past weekend? And in the Amsterdam, it's like one of the large ones, you know, one of the big Abbott, whatever. They run through Amsterdam's like art museum in the middle. Like they run into it and through it. And then there was like an orchestra playing. It looked very cool. I was like, oh, that's
very cool. I did see that the Cape Town Marathon was cancelled.
It was
crazy. The winds. Yeah, so a lot of disappointed runners. But what was lovely to see was that a lot of people went and did the course anyway, I think.
I saw that, yeah. And I think they only found out it was canceled like about 90 minutes before it was set to start. So a lot of runners were kind of like already there, which is kind of like the year 2 years ago when they canceled Ironman California. Jan Frodeno was here and they canceled it because, I don't know, the storm was so bad, like semis were blowing over.
That was a good few years ago, though. That was that in COVID, like 2019, I think.
No. I lived here. It was 3 years ago.
Was it?
It was 3 years ago because I was driving in the morning to go in, and my car could not get through.
Because I announced it.
But what I was going to say
in 2023, so I was like, wasn't 2 years ago.
No, but 3 years ago. But what I was going to say is a bunch of those athletes, because you definitely couldn't be out on the roads, went to the 24-hour fitness and did a whole Ironman in the 24-hour fitness.
That's worse than a regular Ironman for sure.
I agree, Katie.
And that 24-hour fitness is not a nice 24.
Not high performance.
Not a high performance 24.
Oh my gosh. Nothing worse.
So anyway,
look,
I'm sure that center was like, what is going on here?
Okay, let's move to the 70.3 Worlds.
Regular listeners of Feisty Podcasts will not be surprised to learn that for decades, running shoes have been researched, tested, and designed for men. Brands have relied on the shrink it and pink it approach to sell male shoes to female customers. But women's feet differ from men's in numerous ways. We have increased toe splay, higher arches, a more narrow heel, a lower ankle bone, upward angled toenails, and a rounded instep that is smaller in circumference. And because of all those differences, that is why we need HEDAs. HEDAs has unlocked the science behind women's biomechanics through dedicated research and creates running shoes specifically designed for women. So that means a lower heel collar to reduce rubbing on women's ankle bones, plate design to provide heel stability and to decelerate foot impact, rounded instep creating a snug fit through the middle to match the curvature of a woman's foot. Every feature is designed to give you more power and less problems. Breathability that lets your feet breathe easily mile after mile, plus fast drying tech that doesn't allow sweat to slow you down. Adaptive stretch that molds to your foot like it was made just for you. I personally have been running in Heddas for over 2 years, and from the first time I tried them, I knew that there was something different. They really felt like they were made for me. The shoes are super light but provide good cushioning, and they really support my very high arches. I honestly didn't think I would notice the difference after running for so many years in male model shoes, but I really did. So, try Heddas for yourself today. Go to heddas.com and use the code STAYFEISTY for 20% off. That is Stay Feisty for 20% off at heddas.com. The link will, as always, be in the show notes.
Hi, it's Kelly O'Mara.
And Sarah Gross, your other feisty friends.
And we host the newish, feisty podcast, The Feist, covering everything in women's sports that you need and want to know every week.
And the things you didn't know you wanted to know.
In one feisty hour, it's the only women's sports podcast covering all your favorite sports: cycling, running, CrossFit, rugby, the Olympics, the things that other podcasts don't cover.
And giving you the stories behind the scenes, of course.
And why should these feisty listeners listen to The Feist, Sarah?
Well, okay, Kelly, you know how women's sports in the last couple of years have reached this like inflection point?
So I hear, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're, most people are kind of aware that like women's sports are growing, especially on the side of basketball, soccer, and it's really hard. Like I really want to be able to keep up with that movement and what's happening and the things that are growing and the behind the scenes information and like the business side and how the revenue's growing in different leagues. But I don't want to have to watch a ton of sports every week. Not that I don't love watching women's sports. But there's just a lot of it now, right? So
there are a lot of sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our podcast is a way to like keep up on the movement of women's sports while you are able to still pick and choose the ones that you want to watch yourself. So that's why people should listen.
Because we watch them.
Because we watch
tell
them
you
for you
about them.
Yes. And we're fun.
And about everything. And we're fun. And we're going to do all the research behind the scenes, tell you everything you need to know. Listen to The Feist every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcast. You can follow or subscribe to The Feist on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Right. So coming up, Joanne will be headed out, obviously, to announce it. Very exciting. I think it is everyone's kind of like, a very, very, like a lot of people love it. It's kind of their favorite race of the year because you do have like so many athletes. I mean, the last time I was there was close to like 5,000 athletes. It's like across the men's and the women's.
I think it's going to be over 6,000 across the 2 days.
Oh, really? This year?
From what I recall, I think it's over 6,000. Between 8.
And the women. Are the women still going on the first day and the men going on the second?
It's like 130 pro athletes across the 2 days, I believe, which is huge.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like 60 something in each field. So yeah, they released the start. The reason we're talking about this is they released the start list this week, and it is a very stacked start list. I will say there is definitely, and we don't have any inside knowledge for this, it's just wild. There's definitely open question on whether Lucy and Taylor are actually going to race it because they are definitely still recovering from Kona.
For sure.
And I personally think they should recover. They should focus on recovering.
Are you manifesting again, Kelly?
I am manifesting that they should focus on their recovery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, you have Kat Matthews, Paula Findlay, Solveig. Solveig is coming. And I understand that the pro series is going to kind of come down to how her versus Kat do, because they're both like right there. Right?
You also have Caroline Poole, Grace Tech, Laura Phillips, Marta Sanchez, who also was in Kona. You have George Taylor Brown, Jackie Herring, Danielle Lewis, Laurie Jansen, Regan Hollyoak, Marjolaine. The list is stacked. And even looking at this list here, Indy Lee, Lisa Perterer, Catherine, Grace Moral Christensen. I mean, these were all in Kona as well.
Yeah, so I would imagine some of them don't make it because people always like sign up and think and then some of them don't make it. But
I see Lydia Russell.
I was like, what a crazy way to do it. Like have a Ironman world champs into a 70.3 world champs. Like that's...
Have you ever done that? It does feel very short. Like once you start running, when you do a 70.3,
Oh,
like
that's
very
true.
close after
You're
an
going
Ironman,
down.
yeah, you're like, oh, I only have to run a half marathon. This is so quick. Which is either good
I
or
mean, I
bad.
do that with sprint races on Olympic distance, 2 hours to 1 hour, but it feels a little different from an Ironman 2.5.
And I see Feisty's Lydia Russell is on the start list as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I will say Lydia is over there already in Europe training and getting ready. And she is definitely, I would keep an eye on her because, you know, if she is recovered from being sick, she should be one to watch out for. And then we do have a bunch of the Olympian people, like Georgia Taylor Brown's on the list. Jess Learmonth, Olympian people. Yeah. I was saying that's an interesting, like people who have not raced 70.3 Worlds before, like Jess Learmonth, but you know, they're not like new to this game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel like plus they've done like most of them have done a lot of T100s, which is not like a leap from.
And they've had to race a 70.2
to 70.3.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, they did qualify.
Which one did Georgia do? Was it Bahrain last year?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Probably. It was probably.
I think that
probably was.
correct.
He was actually, wasn't it? And who was the guy that won? It was the two of them.
Vince.
Yes,
Vince.
that's.
That makes sense.
But then what's interesting, Kelly, is actually the people who aren't on the start list.
You gonna clue us in?
That we know aren't on
the we know aren't on the. So the one I picked is Holly Lawrence.
She's not
20.3 world champion. I think this will be one of the first ones she'll have missed.
Skip.
Is she in New Zealand?
No, she was pregnant. Was she? She was pregnant last year. So she didn't do it last year. Yeah, because she was either pregnant or she had just given birth. Yeah, she was like a month after just giving birth. So she did not do New Zealand last year because she was like very recently postpartum.
Yeah, because the baby was only a year old since like the week before Kona or the week of Kona.
Yes. So obviously she got 6 in Kona. So I think that was her focus this year. And I think just combo of like travel, new kid, focus. She's not doing it. But yeah, that's crazy because she is super dominant 70.3s when she focuses on them. Yeah,
she's definitely a specialist at that distance, or at least she was. But then let's look at like I don't see Julie Duran. Ash Gentle.
Ash has been focusing on T100, so I don't even know if same with Holly. I don't think Holly did a qualifying race, and I don't even know if Ash has done like a qualifying race this year. So, but yeah, I mean, Ash would be one. I keep waiting for her to win a 70.3 world title. I think it's like any year she's going to win one.
She was in the top 5 last year in New Zealand, wasn't she? She was definitely. She was like, I can't remember. Oh my God, my brain has gone to mush. Apologies. I promise my brain will have absorbed all of the information for the next episode for the preview. But at the moment, it is just not absorbing anything. I look at the.
Yeah, no, we are going to. I was like, we are going to do a full preview in like 2 weeks before the race. But we were just looking at the start list. I mean, I actually have never raced 70.3 Worlds. I've been a number of times because like my husband raced or I covered it. But I do think it's kind of like the most fun event because you just kind of have, you know what I mean? Like the women and the men have their own day, but you have so many athletes and it's a good amount of time. Like you don't have to be out there all day to watch a race. It's like 4.5 hours.
Well, for the pros. For the 8.5 hours for the age groupers, Kelly. Don't be frightening the listeners that are going to the Worlds thinking they have to do it in like 4.5 hours. But it's really fun. I mean, Marbella and Port Manus are absolutely beautiful destination locations. Go swim in the Mediterranean, cycle in the mountains, 1,700 meters of elevation, which interestingly, I don't know what that is in feet, but you'll be able to tell me because it is the same elevation that we had in Kona, over 180 kilometers, I believe. I could be wrong. Again, my brain is mush, but I do think that it's the same elevation or thereabouts that we had over 180 kilometers in Kona. We now have 90. Now Marbella is very hilly. And then the run is along the promenade.
Do you want to know, this only made me laugh. Do you want to know how much elevation gain there was at Ironman California this week?
Minus, because the swim was downstream.
400 feet. Yes, the swim is downstream, and then there is 400 feet of elevation over 100.
That's like, that must be less than 100 meters. Completely flat. We joke often in Wales about, because the Ironman Wales, it's a hilly bike, a hilly run. And sometimes you have a hilly swim as well if the weather is bad.
Yeah. This is the opposite. So when people complain about drafting, I'm kind of like, well, guys, like, what did you think was going to happen? Anyway, so Marbella, I think that's about 6,000 feet, 5,000 something feet of elevation. So
you're going to have to bring some climbing legs, people. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It'll be a great race. And you'll be recovered by then, Joanne.
Well, I hope so. I really need to get back to work, though. This is my first.
All you need is 2 to 3 weeks.
I don't have that. I have 3 days of gymnastics competitions coming up. Yeah, which is very exciting. So that, and then I have an open water swim at Forum in Dublin, and then I fly out to Spain. So I'm doing 2 weeks nearly in Spain. A couple of days before I'm due to work, and then a few days after to chill. But it's nearly the end of the season. It's hard to believe it. And that's the other thing about this race with the 70.3 being after Kona is that I think everyone's, T100 championships will be later again. I think, is it December?
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone is building up to this massive pot of just excitement and party central for after the 70.3 Worlds.
Joanne, I don't know where I saw it, but somebody was sharing I saw a video of you singing at the party at 70.3 Worlds last year.
Well, I love the VIP party. Yeah. So I hosted the VIP party, and then I lashed out a rendition of Valerie. Yeah. So there was none of that now in Kona. I don't think so. I think I sang on the finish line maybe at some point. Sweet Caroline or something.
Not sure, but maybe.
Maybe. It's all a guess.
At least that's my line, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, we will be back next week. We should have some guests again soon, and then we will have a 70.3 preview. And we're getting close to the end of the year too. So hang in there.
It's going to be awesome.